Global Teachers. I wanted to do something even extra encouraging today, something that I had to really, really work on as a teacher. And it goes with this verse, Philippians 4:8. And it says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if anything is worthy of praise, think about these things." We've said before, teaching is so hard, and it's physically exhausting, but it can be mentally exhausting, emotionally exhausting. In teaching, you're dealing with a lot of people, students who are having good days and bad days and not acting the way they should sometimes. Other teachers who can hurt our feelings and say things they shouldn't say. Parents who are often angry. Administrators who might be expecting a lot from us. There's just a lot going on. And if we take these instances and dwell on them, think about them a lot. Oh, I had a horrible day. This kid is just not being good. And then our days just get worse. We're in a bad mood all the time. And we don't know why. It's because of this verse. We're not thinking about things that are honorable and just and worthy of praise. That's thinking on Jesus Christ, thinking on the Bible, thinking on the grace and the mercy and the comfort and the forgiveness that we receive. So if you will focus your mind on these things and let those other disturbances go, then you have a calmer, more praiseworthy approach to life. So I hope this encourages you. So we're going to be talking about teacher tools. So teacher tools means those little things that we can do to make the classroom go more smoothly and often make students give a better learning environment for them, help them with their learning. So this one's on calling on students. When you ask a question, who are you going to call on to answer it? So I want you to think about this. What percentage of your class is thinking when you ask a question and they all shout out the answer? If you ask the question, what is 6 times 3? And they shout out an answer, who said the correct answer? Which student said the wrong answer? Who didn't answer at all? It's very difficult to know that. Those who don't say anything at all, did they not know it? Or do they know, I don't have to say anything. Someone's going to give the right answer, and I don't need to even think about it. I can just sit here and do nothing. You know, when that student takes a test and does poorly, it's not just their fault. It's ours. We let them not ever have to think about anything and then get upset at the end of it. When students raise their hand, this becomes a little better because normally if they have their hand in the air, they know the answer. If they don't know the answer. But you can't be sure of that. And once again, those who don't raise their hand, we don't know. Do they not know it? Or do they just not do it because somebody else is going to do it for them? So let's talk about some other things we can do instead. So there's a couple of ways to help choose the student to give the answer. And then I'm going to talk about how to use them. So the first one is popsicle sticks. And you can see that I have names written on the popsicle stick. Anyway, so these are what popsicle sticks look like. If you don't have popsicle sticks, you could do laminated strips of paper or any kind of a heavy piece of paper. So I often say index cards. They're more of a cardboard. You could probably make about 3 strips out of every index card and use those. Just know the sturdier they are, the longer they will last. The other one is a deck of playing cards like this. So you could take with a red marker and write someone's name on this in red. And of course, on this one, you would want to do black. So this one's kind of fun to get the kids involved. Say, okay, what's 6 times 8? Susie, will you pull a card out? And they will pull it out and say whose name it is. Or I can just do it. Or you can just leave the stack on your desk and say, okay, it's this person. That way, when you get to the end of the deck, sometime that day, every student has been called on at some point rather than mixing them up. So lots of ways to do this, okay? All right, so what percentage is thinking of an answer? So we already said that before, when we just call on them or they shout out the answer, we don't know what percentage is even thinking of the answer. So we want to do something called think time. When we ask a question, we teach our students, don't shout out the answer, don't raise your hand. I'm going to give you think time, and everyone's going to think of an answer, because then I'm going to draw a popsicle, or I'm going to draw a card. And so they will get very used to this. If you do it consistently, if you do it once a week, it's going to be a hard habit to break. But if this is consistent, if this sits on the corner of your desk and you are constantly grabbing it, then everybody knows what to do. And like I say with everything, if 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade does this, by the time they get to 4th, 5th, 6th grade, they're really good at it. And they don't even have to, this is what they're used to. So I really like when schools do the same thing across the board. It really helps. So if you ask a question and you say, I want everyone to think of an answer, I'm going to draw a popsicle, you have almost 100% of the class trying to come up with the answer. Now, why not 100? Because we all know there are those 1 or 2 students in our class that just are never thinking about it. Or there are a few that are so scared they're going to have the wrong answer and people are going to laugh at them that they're not going to think. That's a teacher problem. You need to get that one under control. You need to continually teaching your students, hey, this is school. If you come here knowing everything, then there's no reason for me or you to be here. It's okay. I tell my students, when you have a wrong answer, I don't say I like it, but I say that helps me know that I need to help you and we need to work on this so that you do know it. So be positive with the students that give incorrect answers, even when you're like, oh my goodness, we have done this for a month and they still don't know. Keep that thought to yourself and do what you can to help them. Okay, we all know what it's like to be called on in a group. If you're in a teacher meeting and you get called on and you don't know the answer, it needs to be okay that you didn't come up with the right thing and not be in that constant panic. Okay, all right, so another thing you can do is you can give the student numbers. So what teachers will do is they will go buy a pack of those little tiny round stickers that sometimes in the United States we put prices on them and stick them on things. So I'm assuming everyone kind of does that with them. And you buy a pack and they're like 50 and you stick one in the corner of every desk and you write, if you have 30 students, you write 1 through 30 on them. Then your popsicle sticks, instead of names, you can get these ready. You can write numbers on them. And that way you can pull a popsicle stick and say number 3. And whoever has number 3, and they learn their number. Now, if you have a class that you teach more than one group, like especially high school will do this, they will come in and have high school, one class, first hour, then they will come in and have another set. The number system is really beneficial because that way you don't have to have a set of sticks for every class. Now, we know the students are going to pick at those stickers and they're going to peel them off. Once again, you need to fix that problem. If they're doing it, if you are doing the management system we talked about, some of us, you could move their clip down. Whatever you need to do to discipline them, to get them to stop. Now, eventually they get kind of tired of it and it's not new and they'll stop. Okay. Another thing I often do with students, and I really like this, it helps build that community in the classroom that you want. You choose the first student. If it has multiple answers, like if I said, well, let's do our multiples of 2. So we're going to start with 2 times 2. All right, Ryan, what's 2 times 2? And Ryan says 4. If he doesn't say 4, I will usually say no, and I try to help him come up with the answer. If he can't, then I'll say, Ryan, why don't you choose a friend to help you? And they'll raise their hands and he gets to choose who makes him feel comfortable to call on it, and they will give the answer. Sometimes I can even say, well, thank you, Alicia, for being Ryan's friend. Can you tell him how you came up with that answer and help him a little bit? And they will. But let's say Ryan does know the answer. 2 times 2 is 4. Good job, Ryan. So, Ryan, I would like you to choose a girl in the room to do the next one. Now, at first, they're going to go, and they're going to look forever. And that's your job to step in and say, Ryan, you have until the count of 3 to choose on someone. Sometimes I will say, Ryan, will you choose someone in the next row to answer next? And that keeps him from calling on his best friend every single time. So then he gets to choose next. And you know what? I love these precious little sweethearts that you can tell they go, oh, Alicia never gets called on, and they will call on Alicia. It will start happening. You can develop that culture in your classroom. So before using any of these tools or these methods, always use it with a simple lesson first. Maybe do one for favorites. What is your favorite food? What is your favorite color? Whatever grade you're in. Do simple math facts. If you ask a very complicated question or a question that you're studying right now and they may or may not know the answer, then they are having trouble thinking of the answer and worrying about this at the same time. So get them used to this with something very simple, multiple times. Then you can start using this daily in everything, but keep it right on your desk. Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to want you to have think time. Don't raise your hand. Don't shout out the answer. Don't steal the opportunity for someone else to think. Okay? So after think time, I'm going to draw a popsicle, and that person's going to give me the answer. If you don't know the answer, you can tell me I don't know, or you can guess, and we will help you come up with the answer. Okay, is everyone ready? We're going to start with think time. Here's the question. What kind of an animal has black and white stripes? Think time. Everybody think. What kind of animal has black and white stripes? There might be more than one answer. Okay, I'm going to draw a name. Samantha, what animal has black and white stripes? She gives her answer, and then I go through, yes, that's correct, very good. Next question. Or, oh, that's a tiger. I think it's orange and black. Can you think of one that's white and black? Okay, well, Samantha, how about you choose someone, a friend in the room that you want to get help from? Who wants to help Samantha? So there's lots of ways to do this. All right, so teachers, I hope this helps you out. I hope this is a tool that you can put in your tool belt and pull it out and use it to create that learning environment in your classroom that we all want. All right, now I'm going to encourage you again to be thinking positive things. Have a great